Hi, this is Dee at Aloha Astro, and today is April 26th. We are looking at a full moon occurring this evening, very late, in Eastern time zone. It will be at 11:31 p.m. So this forecast covers the 2 days because you're going to be going to sleep potentially with this full moon, waking up to the full moon energy. You'll be feeling this build during the day, but we start off the day with the moon in Libra. Toward the middle of the day, it changes over. So let's see what we have. Full moon in Scorpio, Monday, April 26th, and Tuesday, April 27th, uncovers new ways to utilize resources while bringing a greater understanding of relationship motivations and dynamics, as the moon shifts from Libra, an air sign associated with equity and partnerships, to a water sign concerned with the merging of boundaries and sharing of assets around midday on Monday. An interesting grand trine of potential opportunity is formed between the moon, expansive Jupiter in future-minded Aquarius, and action-oriented Mars in caring Cancer, while the moon also deals with challenging friction through a square to powerful Pluto in success-driven Capricorn and an opposition to the Sun conjunct Uranus, the planet of change, in security, money, and values-focused Taurus. Whether you are examining your own personal life, seeking ways to grow and improve, or taking a larger worldview of society and the economy, you could decide that things are not so bad, but they could be better, and you are determined to make it so. The blocks, misalignment, waste, or misuse of your energy, time, and money are glaringly noticeable in the light of a perceptive water sign moon that rules the 8th house of shared values and assets as it waxes toward full. The full moon in Scorpio occurs at 11:31 p.m. Eastern Time, pulling the Moon and Sun-Uranus opposition into a fixed T-square with Sirius Saturn in analytical Aquarius. Something in your life may come to an ultimatum, and change is the only answer. If a letting go or final closure is necessary, it is making room for something better to be planted, and the planets presently transiting Taurus and Cancer will foster healing and growth. So let's take a look at how that looks right now. And here we have that grand trine, which is very supportive. Definitely feels like wanting to do things in a more sustainable way or more inclusive way, wanting to utilize those resources better, particularly while we have a lot of interest and focus on the material realm and the ideas of value, money, all tied into the Taurus transits. And we do have the Sun, Uranus, Venus, Mercury all lined up here in Taurus, making sextiles to Neptune in Pisces and to Mars in Cancer. And that does also create more of the flow, the desire to manifest, to have more, to be more, but it also looks toward sharing those resources with other people in a mutually supportive way. And if there's any neglect, misuse, abuse that becomes evident, this square aspect here between Mercury and Venus in Taurus and Saturn in Aquarius, particularly like frustration with bureaucracy, or why are we still using this method to do something when there's a better way to do it. Change is being brought to bear. Whether we like it or not, some things just aren't applicable anymore. And I think sometimes we have to come to the point of this isn't going to work anymore before we're able to move ahead. And actually create something new. But that grand trine gives a lot of potential for creating something new that is going to have more flow or be better for more people involved, have more of an emotional component to it, and serve needs better rather than just doing things by routine because that's the way we've always done things. And here we've got the moon now coming into the opposition as we get closer to full. We have square energy going on with Pluto, which intensifies a lot of the feeling as though there are blocks or limitations, or feeling that something is going to come to a head and blow up or maybe end. Pluto is a very intense planet, and it is the ruler of Scorpio. So we have some kind of like Scorpio to the 10th degree here, because the moon is now in Scorpio, and we have it interacting with its ruler in a tense aspect. And as we get further on in the evening, you can see that that is coming into that T-square here. And you may notice that everything really does come down to you, and something that you must do for your own well-being, because the moon now enters a quincunx around midnight as we move into the 27th with Chiron in Aries. So you have to come to a decision, or you may feel that you've reached as far as you can go with a particular job or relationship or situation, and now it's time to finally end something or change something or issue an ultimatum. This would be actually an excellent full moon for anybody who's looking to break an addiction of some kind, or to determine that they're going to begin a new habit, and for the purpose of eliminating a negative habit. Then the negativity is what you might be most aware of. Keep in mind that there is that very positive grand trine energy supporting good stuff, and Mars in a trine to Jupiter is there throughout all of this, saying that healing is possible, change and growth are good, and it is better to move forward right now and to go with the flow and change and heal as you go, than to attempt to stay stuck in your past, in things that are dead, that are no longer working. But deep self-examination is possible, and everything does really come to a head right around midnight tonight. So your sleep may be affected by that, and of course if you're watching this and you're in a different time zone, you'd have to make adjustments for that. For some people, that full moon doesn't occur until the 27th. It won't be the 26th when it happens. It's still going to have some effect on people's ability to rest comfortably, and until you come to a resolution inside yourself over an issue, you might not be able to sleep well. So the primary issue or crisis or whatever you're dealing with is going to be there interfering with your rest or your peace until you face it and do something about it and determine what changes are necessary. Let's take a look at the Sabian symbol. The Sabian symbol for the moon will be at 7 degrees 6 minutes of Scorpio, and we round up to 8 degrees. A calm lake bathed in moonlight. Keynote, a quiet openness to higher inspiration. One could stress the romantic suggestions such an image evokes, but even at the level of a love relationship, what is implied is a surrender of two personal egos to the inspiration of transcendent feelings, which are essentially impersonal. Love expresses itself through the lovers, for real love is a cosmic, undifferentiated principle or power, which simply focuses itself within the souls of human beings who reflect its light. The same is true of the mystic's love for God. Man strives hard to achieve great things through daring adventures, but a moment comes when all that really matters is to present a calm mind upon which a supernal light may be reflected. This is the third stage of the 44th fivefold sequence. It tells us that beyond all efforts lays the need for peace and the readiness to accept the illumination from above. The key word is quiescence. And I looked up the meaning of quiescence because it's not a word that we use a lot in our daily life. And it is that point of absolute stillness or calm. Hopefully the full moon tonight will bring you to that point. I think that it has a lot to do with, in the 8th house, Scorpio energy, we merge our boundaries and we share our assets, and there's a sense of a loss of self in doing so when we our boundaries dissolve. And some of the Scorpio issues have to do with trust and betrayal and letting go, surrender. You may come to a point, I think, maybe it is quiescence, but that feeling that we have with that T-square with the full moon at its peak or right around midnight is that there is that moment of complete release or letting go. And with that potentially comes the calm, that you will not find that peace or calm until you make a decision to let go to something that might be bigger than you, or to simply stop clinging and holding on to something that maybe it's already let you go. Maybe it's gone on and you're the energy that's still holding on to it, wanting to still go back to it or gain more from it. So quiescence, interesting word, but that is the energy of this particular Sabian symbol, which is the symbol for the degree that the full moon takes place in later this evening. I do intend for you that you have a very insightful full moon. Scorpio, with that 8th house energy, is always about using the psychic abilities, the ability to perceive, to intuit, to sense and feel. And it can also be used powerfully to manifest. I believe that what we have going on right now with the various aspect patterns throughout the day is that there is opportunity for manifesting new things, but it really is going to be based upon the letting go of the old before new can come in, is what I think is going to be occurring. That you can't keep going over something, doing it the same old way and expecting to get better results from it. Like the quote, there's a similar quote to that you can't keep doing the same old thing and expect different results. And that's the way this full moon is affecting everybody, that we can't keep doing something the same old way. It will not give us better results. And as we move into tomorrow, you can even see that we have a yod involving the North Node, that green line here, that green line there, with the moon. And a yod can feel very fated or destined. There it is, coming in a little bit tighter as it draws closer to 11 degrees. So a yod can create a feeling of fate or destiny, and you may come to a point of all or nothing, one way or the other, knowing that you need to choose a path. We have that North Node in Gemini, which is a dual sign, multiple options, more than one choice or path. Aries, very self-aware and self-determined. Nobody else is going to decide this for you, potentially. If you want to hold on to your sovereignty, your own power, your own ability to master something, you have to sometimes break away from everybody else or what society is telling you has to be this way. So there can be a lot of rebellion that comes up in here as well because of the Aquarian energy. And mainly with this yod, you have to do what you have to do, and you have to choose what is right for you. And you may not be able to hang out in a gray zone. It may be very all or nothing. And if you choose to not go forward or to change, I think it can actually result in further loss for you rather than future gain. So, the clinging is not necessarily going to allow you to keep anything. And sometimes we learn the hard way Hopefully you don't have hard lessons with that T-square, and that you do trust your own intuition when you determine what your best option is moving forward after this full moon. Enjoy the energy and the potent power of it. Make wise decisions based on what you feel you can live with. And you be safe, and I will see you again when I do the daily horoscope in 2 days and do a video for that. And for those who just keep in touch during new moon, full moon, then I'll see you in 2 weeks.